answer wasn't a 0. Or, I was like, maybe I missed the 0.
No, for some reason I thought you were in Florida. I'm mixing you up with a Florida client.
Oh, no. I could not handle the humidity.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
No, I'm California.
Yeah, which is very, very moderate temperatures in Cali. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still on the protocol, or did you decide I'm done?
No, I stopped it.
Okay.
And I know, it's that tug of war, like, kind of feeling, but I'm just like, okay, that's a little, like, it's very enticing because the weight does drop off quick, that's if you're weighing yourself and you're seeing it, but that just gives into what, like, all the euphoric, narcissist kind of thing that you're talking about,
Well, and it ends up being a binge eating fest when it's over. I mean, it
right,
just is like, so,
yeah.
Well, the other thing too, don't you agree? When you jumped into the round, your choice was because you needed to be controlled. It wasn't necessarily, I want to lose it quick. It was, I got to get control. I need the control.
That's what you're right. That's what I thought. And then like, once I got in there, I was like, this is a little too much control. Like,
yep.
Like, I think, like, I'm becoming, I mean, I still absolutely hate that my clothes don't fit, and I'm
yes, well,
definitely,
that's the whole point of why you jumped.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to get up in the morning. I do kind of feel, like, depressed, a little, like,
Well, go beyond that. Why is it so depressing? What is it? Really open yourself up to looking at not just I'm uncomfortable, but why? Why? And that's what I was trying to text you. It was like, you got to just, clearly it's just, I'm uncomfortable. Don't even look at it. Just do something different. You have to address why. If you really want to make adjustments, you can't just say, I just have to do it just because. I just got to stop. I just hate it just because. That's not going to help you really mature. There's no maturity in that, You'll never really get it if you don't look at it. One of the reasons, if we were to look at why you're not willing to look at it, is fear of discomfort. Like, if I look at it, I will be uncomfortable. If I open it up, it will make me feel bad. That's not necessarily, I'm not saying that's your case. I'm just saying that's a lot of people refuse to look at what makes them afraid because they're afraid of what fear feels like, right? So for you, it's that extreme intolerance of discomfort.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concluding from my observations, is you just have an extreme reaction to it. Which is where your controllingness comes in, right? You can see where that projects into controllingness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have to look at why. We don't need to judge. We don't need to, we're not judging what you're doing. I don't think it's not a judgment around that's what you're doing. It's why. There's a reason why. That would make sense of why it's so uncomfortable and why you're afraid of going into that discomfort, and there's compassion in that. So when you look at the story, like if you had to tell a story, if someone was writing a story about you, they would have a reason for why it's this way and an understanding for why it's this way.
Right.
That would give the story compassion.
And that's what I've always been trying, or I guess wanting to figure out, is like, and I knew deep down that if I never, I would always keep saying, like, if I don't find out why I do this, then it's never gonna change,
Well, the only way to find out why is to actually go into what it is that you're feeling, rather than just going immediately into, I don't want to feel that way. We have to remove, retreat, hide. Mm-hmm. You have to have some tolerance. And so where we're at this point is you need to have a little more tolerance. And what brings you tolerance is the desire to change. That's the only way you're going to sit in discomfort, is because you want to change. That wantingness to change the only reason why you're going to tolerate discomfort for a little bit, just to open your mind.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm definitely willing, because I do realize that I'm not willing to go to such extremes anymore,
to control everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it. And maybe it's because I don't have, like I was telling you, maybe it's because I don't have, like, some event, I kind of, like, avoid stuff like that because, that causes me fear. Like, planning, like, a vacation to Hawaii. Like, that would totally stress me out because then you got the time constraint. You got, okay, I have to lose it by this date.
Oh, yeah.
Or I will not have fun, and so...
Yeah, and that obviously comes from your beliefs around what brings the experience, joy, and pleasure. Mm-hmm. You clearly think it's all about your thinness. It's not about Hawaii at all. It's about your it's about thinness.
Well, it's like because like all the things you do there, and
you're not even you don't focus on that. You're focusing on the thinness. You don't even go to what you're going to do. You go into what your body's going to look like in the thinness. So it's not even about Hawaii. It's about the way you look in Hawaii.
Well, right, because I'd be afraid to do those things.
Because it's about the way you look.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. When you hear that, it's just like, really? So juvenile? You hear it intellectually, I'm assuming, and you're like, that is so ridiculous. It's not about it's about Hawaii. Why would I diminish the beauty of this planet to fixate on the thinnerness of my body? As if it's all revolves around my thin body. Everything is revolving around me. Hawaii is looking at my thin body. Everything that there is looking at my body when I'm there. It's all about me and if I'm thin or not. So can you see why that would create so much pressure? Because you're supposed to be like Jesus coming down from the clouds there in Hawaii in your thin body, bringing everybody the rays of sunshine because you're lean. And everybody's going to soak in the lean joy from your body. And if you're not lean, no one is going to be okay with it. And the beach is going to be pissed at you. The birds are going to be like, why is she thin? I mean, we could really create a cartoon out of that.
Well, I mean, I don't really necessarily, as much now care what other people think.
Well, I know. That whole scene is in your own head. About you, with you, in your mind, in yourself. Your self-centered, it's all about, that is a symptom. That's how I would be. It's not a personality trait. That's a symptom. Mm-hmm. You're in survival mode, and your survival is thinness. If you're not thin, it's like you're exposed. It feels like death, threat, problems. And can you see why then going to a gorgeous and incredible place like Hawaii would then feel threatening? Because you have to be thin to be relaxed to enjoy it. That's the illusion.
Or even more so, like a reunion, like seeing like people from the past.
Yeah, and that's your pride. That's pride.
I would literally die. Like I wouldn't go. I would not go.
Well, that's pride, right? Because you're not willing to expose reality. Like you don't want them to see the truth or to be real with these people. You have to maintain the facade or the idea of what you want them to see. So it's not even a real truthful connection with these people. It's like a superficial, I'm playing a role and I want them to believe that I'm that role, because if I'm not that role, then I would be seen as a fraud. I'm a liar. I'm not that. And so there's so much disconnection with people because of that. Yeah, that is what we are describing is the narcissistic core of the ego, which in other words is self-preservation when you feel completely threatened. Your life is threatened and you believe that you are the biggest threat to your life. Your role has to be something above and beyond, or it has to be whatever image you have of who you want to be in your mind for you to be safe and to be seen as a valuable human. And so the fear is that I am not valuable. I am inferior. I'm pathetic. You know, we can talk about all the feels in that, and people will find out. So I have to promote myself or inflate this, you know, like this fake balloon structure around me to say I'm this, not what's on the inside. I'm this weird idea. And
yeah, because they all know who, like, I don't think it would really make a difference to any of them.
Well, of course not, because they don't care. But you care, and you actually think deep down inside that they are promoting you with that role. That it is a swarm. It is. It might be not conscious because you're promoting yourself with that role, but the reason why you wouldn't want to go to like a reunion is because you believe that is the role that they promote you with. So the fear would be that if they find out that that's not who you are, that they will know that you are not superior, that you're not that you're not all that you're actually like normal, like you're human. That you're not special, if that makes sense. The specialness is a real sense. That's what that is. I need to feel like I have some degree of separation from the crowd, and it needs to be special. And maybe at some point in your life, you glommed on to thinness as what made you special or superior, and you have to be that to prove that you are successful, that you have something of success to promote yourself with. Even though I guarantee you, everybody in that group doesn't give a shit.
Oh, right.
Like, they don't even, if you did that, if you came there with your self-promoted self, it would be, like, sad. They would be kind of sad for you.
Yeah. Well, you hit the nail on the head, like, exactly, because, I always would say, like, I would take being thin over being smart.
You value that. To you, that is the golden statue of all hail. She wins. Yeah.
Which, in reality, I don't want to be stupid, and
Well, the reality is that you're miserable. You have a miserable life, so you might have a thin body, but you're a miserable, miserable wreck. That's the truth. You know, that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they don't know your super impulsiveness, your crazy controlling this. I mean, this is, you're miserable. So showing up thin is like, it's just such a weird, frail veil around a horrible hell on the inside.
Yeah, I've always been really good at playing that, not showing how I really necessarily feel inside.
Well, what would happen if you just were exposed? I want you to visualize this, okay? Just go in, just put yourself in your mind. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to go through this, and let's just see how this works out. We're going to kind of go through a visualization. For this to work, you really have to make it real in your mind. As if, how would you truthfully respond? Not your impulsive response, but your real, like, how would this work out? Okay. So okay. I want you, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, okay.
So I want you to imagine you're in a room by yourself. It's a white room, and it's just you. And it's kind of a round room, and there's doors. There's like probably 8 doors around that people can come in the room, and you can leave the room. But it's a room with about 8 doors. It's circular, and you're in the center. And every time someone comes in the room, you leave because you're afraid that if they see you, that they're going to judge you, mock you, shame you, reject you, pity, like they're going to think horrible things about you. So you have a few doors that you use to escape. One of them is cleaning. The other one is clothing, shopping. All the stuff that creates facade, right? All the ornaments, all the honestly, it's like you're in a play and you're trying to create a character. So you go put on a mask and you go put on these clothes and you put on these earrings and you put on this idea of who you think you are, and then you come back in the room. You're in this like weird.
I'm like, that's why I've always felt like a chameleon almost.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. Like I've never really even known. Like.
Yeah. So one door goes into your house and it's perfect and clean. One door goes into this room of food deprivation and health righteousness, right? Look at me, I'm pure and clean and I'm healthy, right? Another room is your, skinny room. Look, I'm skinny in here. I'm skinny, And so you can see you've used these exits to get out of that white room when people come in. You're constantly like trying to avoid, hide, distract, facade, lie, basically. You're presenting a lie because you're so afraid that if they see what's in that true white room of yours, they come in and actually witness who you are deathly afraid that they will judge you. Shame, diminish, reject. It goes from there.
I don't even know I've done that so many years or so long that I don't even know who the real person who is.
I would agree.
Person in that white room. I don't even know.
Well, of course you don't. Neither did I. It felt like there was nothing there. I felt like frail nothingness. Like underneath that veil was nothing. So I had to pretend to be something other than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt the same way.
Yeah, like I've always tried to impress people or like make them, like be what I think I should be around all different people. Like just meld to their,
idea.
I never would state my opinion or I never would speak up for myself. I just like kind of like hid in the shadows of everyone.
And you're trying to guess what they like, and you have to transform into that. So if they like a certain type of music, you have to learn that music and like it too, even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
If they don't like that food, you don't like it either. I don't like it either. So you abandon yourself. You abandon your own process of growth around who you are. You lose anything authentic around yourself and you become obsessed about the inauthentic or the programs that are out there to tell you who you are. So like, I'm a musician, so you dress like a musician, you look like a musician, you talk like a musician, you become what's programmed. You become programmed, and so people do this with religion, they do this with politics, they do with all sorts of thinness, body image. I'm a bodybuilder, and they dress like a bodybuilder, and they talk like a bodybuilder, and they want to tell people I'm a bodybuilder. Same thing with I'm CrossFit, and I do CrossFit, and you're going to do CrossFit. I'm a vegan, and so they try to take on these personas. I'm a yoga, you do yoga. So it's like super predictable and socially programmed. So that's really common in junior high when people stop really being themselves in fear of not being popular and wanting to just be, I want to be part of the cool crowd. I don't want to be rejected or seen as inferior. And that's typically when this happens for people is like between 5th, 6th, 7th grade is they abandon the truth and they glom onto some social ideal that is seen as popular or liked and wanted. So that's typically when this happens. And so often people grow out of it, right? Because it comes at a high cost. It comes at disconnecting. You have to disconnect from friends you had from, toddler up to 4th grade. You're totally disconnecting from someone because they like horses, because they like Justin Bieber, so and that abandonment often can happen. And the people that are abandoned by their friends to be cool end up having really hard problems, and that might have happened to you. I don't know. It doesn't matter because you're still in it today. So I want you to go back to that room, okay? The white room that you're in. You're sitting in it. I want you to sit in the center. And I want you to get in touch with what that is. Like, what is this? Who am I? Like, what's real?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when I did this, I try to connect with what I felt like versus what I looked like in my head. I get rid of the body, right? Because you're really not the body. There's an essence behind the body, right? And for me, I went to like, well, I know I've always had this feeling of like joy and happiness. like rainbows and sparkles. I just want to have fun and laugh. And that's always been there. That's it. And I just want to have fun. That was it. That's all that was there. It was very thin too. It was very frail. Sense of just sweetness.
Yeah, mine is probably like just like I've always helped people, but I kind of wanted to please people,
Well, that's different. Take that out because that sounds like it might be something that was trying to please like me, please like me, please like me, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not that, if you really like helping people, if it's not about pleasing people, but just actually giving.
Yeah, I mean, I like, that's why I'm a nurse, I like helping people.
Soothing, calming.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's very sweet. So that right there, would that go away does that essence or feel ever go away?
No.
That's pretty consistent, whether you're fat or thin or whether you're, right? That feeling. That's actually a form of compassion and love. So that I would say that's lovingness.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. So it's not these great grandeur things at all. They're very simple feelings that are really inside. Like, do you ever mean harm ever?
No.
Even if you've made mistakes and it's been harmful, whether it's yourself or someone else, you never really meant or would intend ever to do something harmful. That's a feeling too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very nice, kind person.
Safe. You're a safe person.
Yeah, I mean, no one. That's why everyone's always liked me. I've never had enemies. I've never had anyone not like me. I mean.
So go into that feeling of safety. You're a safe person for people to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't like who you're with, they're safe with you.
There for a while, I always attracted friends that were very needy and
Okay, well that neediness comes from your desire to please people, so that's attractive to people who are needy. That codependent, victim rescuer.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, I mean that's not really much anymore, but.
Yeah, but that's very different than what we're talking about in terms of you being a safe person. That's different.
Yeah, I mean, someone could tell me anything.
Okay, and I bet you people do.
Oh, yeah.
And your husband's like, why? How do you people tell you all this shit? What the heck?
Yeah, he's so different. He's
right. Don't tell me anything. Just keep it neutral.
Yeah, he's
too funny.
He's much more harsh than I am.
Opinionated. Yeah. So go back into that feeling of what that is. If you were there, sitting as a child, sitting as an adult, just the sameness of who you really are. That never changes. It literally should have, it's not even better. It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, right.
And just sit with that for a little bit. We don't need to go anywhere. Just sit with what those feelings are. And I want you to imagine yourself sitting there as a child. 4 years old. Same feelings. How would you describe that? Just sweetness?
Yeah, I mean, as a child, I was a little, I was sweet, but I was kind of a little terror.
Well, would you say that's you having fun, or you wanting freedom?
I was very impulsive when I was young. I wanted extreme attention, and I did stupid stuff.
Okay, that's so different. Don't go there. That's a totally different conversation. I'm talking about the essence, not your coping mechanism for feeling neglected.
Yeah, no, I was a sweet kid. Yeah, I would, happy, I had a lot of friends.
Okay, you're going out superficially. I want you to go inside. The feels from within. Right? Who cares about that? I don't care. No one cares about that. It's what I want you to go into is what it feels like on the inside. That feeling where you said, oh, I've always been that lovability, caring, helpful, never meaning any malice. Those are feelings that you've had forever. They have not gone away. They don't get bigger. They don't get smaller. They've never diminished. They're always there. You could say it. Sometimes you might not be consciously being run by those feelings, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
oh, yeah.
Sometimes again, it's not conscious, but you were using those feelings to make decisions.
Yeah.
I want to help that person. You know, like you're drawn to being a nurse. Those feelings probably drew you maybe in part to that field.
Oh, yeah.
Just loving and caring for people. That's what that is. It's like a teacher, similar.
I knew I wanted to be a nurse in like 9th grade, so I was the candy striper, and I did my CNA certificate and was in a nursing home, at that young age.
Do you recall the first people you were caring for?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I took my sister to this nursing home because I was just so in awe of these people, and she thought I was cuckoo. She
just didn't connect with that. Yeah.
She felt so uncomfortable, and I was like, "Look, this is Isabel. She thinks she's in Mexico. Like she has Alzheimer's or whatever." And my sister's like, "Oh my gosh." She's still said, I remember when you took me that place.
And you were just just loving these people. So I want you to sit in that white room in your head, and I want you to feel that.
Yeah, I liked, being there with these people. And
go into the essence of what that is. What is the essence of that?
Caring,
okay? Totally loving, caring, compassionate. That takes compassion too. So there's a lot of those are truthful things within you. Those are true. They're not made up. They're not fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's that is a great example that you bring up with your sister. Like, what the heck? She clearly didn't have the same sense of those things that brought joy to her. She was more like, what the hell? These old people are freaking out. It smells in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whereas within you, you're like, I just love being here. I love holding this woman's hand. I love having these conversations. Like, that is very special. That right there is not a lie, is it?
No.
It's real.
Yeah, and I'm still the same way.
Can anybody take that from you?
No.
Can someone say something that makes it better?
What do you mean better?
Yeah, can someone say, well, we're going to do this and it's going to make that better. It's going to make it better inside you. No, because it's within you and it's there and no one can take it. So if we were to say, okay, you're going to go blind. Okay, well, what does that do? What is blindness? If you went blind, what would happen to those feelings?
It would still be there.
Nothing. Literally nothing would happen. You would still want to go to the old folks' home.
Mm-hmm.
Blind or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see where the physicality of the body has nothing to do with that? Nothing.
Yeah.
You're blind. You could be in a wheelchair. You're still going to have those feelings. Still going to have that lovingness, compassion in those situations. You're still going to have that, whether you're a burn victim, whether you lose your hair, whether you are paraplegic, whether you're blind, whether you're fat, whether you're thin. All those that realness of you has nothing to do with the body or your environment, whether you're rich or poor. Nothing physical or environmental could change that, right?
Right.
Okay. Those feelings, if we want to call it you, that's you. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I feel is like rainbows, fun, fireworks. I just want to have fun. I want to have like birthday parties every day. Woohoo! I can take any environment and make it fun.
Yeah.
No one can take that from me. It's built right in. I don't know where it came from. It's not mine. I didn't make it. It's just the way I feel. It's been there since I was born. Been there since I can remember. I'm also a safe person. I've always felt that. Similarly, I'm super safe. I do not want to cause anybody harm. Ever.
Yeah.
And not because I'm afraid of them, but because I don't care. I don't want anybody to be, I don't want to be the cause of someone else's discomfort if I don't have to. So I'm aware of those things.
Yeah.
I'm aware of as much as I can of those things. Right?
Yeah, like
so,
I'm the person on the freeway that like if I accidentally cut someone off, I feel like
sorry.
awful. Like, wave your hand, sorry, where my husband like could give
who cares?
Could give a shit. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
And I'm like, how could you be like this? Like, seriously.
Okay, so connect with those things that have, nothing would change those things about you. There's not one thing that will ever change those things. Never, ever, 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 ever. It's
right.
real. It's authentic. It's the truth. There's no lying. It's not fake. You're not pretending. Right? I have a friend who is, she is constantly doing, she's volunteering all the time, going to the homeless shelter, doing food. She's helping with refugees, and it's just constant. I was not built in like with that. I don't understand it. That's foreign to me.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm a bad person?
No.
No, because I do it in different ways. I do different things, but that to me is foreign. No different than your sister feeling super foreign with you in that old folks home.
Mm-hmm.
Just so foreign. To me, it's like, but to her, it's just like, oh yeah, that's just what I do. I really enjoy it. Like, she really loves it. She seeks it out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if I were to go do that, it would be so fake. I'd be lying. That doesn't bring me joy. I don't get anything out of that.
Yeah, I definitely know the feeling of being fake, but then I don't know, it's so hard because
just stay where we're at. Don't leave this conversation yet. Just stay right out. I have a point to this, okay? Because you're just leaving it to go talk about how this isn't going to work. So stay where I got you.
Okay.
So I want you to think, like, if I were to go and do that, imagine if I felt like I had to go do that for her, this girl, to like me. How manipulative that is. So I'm going to go volunteer with her and do stuff so she'll like me. That's
right.
Presenting a lie. That's fake. Totally fake.
Mm-hmm.
Just for her to like me. Or to not judge me for being like, I am not motivated by that. That doesn't do it for me. And if she wants to judge me, that means that we're not a good fit as friends.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, she didn't give a shit because she knows she's special that way. This is her thing. That's what she wants. She doesn't think everybody should be this way, but she loves it. Right? So imagine if she judged me for not going to do all this refugee work and all this stuff. If she judged me, how clearly we're not going to be good friends. It's just like that's the nature of reality. Versus imagine me faking it and faking it and faking it. How would that make me feel having to do something I don't want to do so that I get her to like me? Do you see how that puts me? I'm abandoning my reality to become her reality.
Mm-hmm.
Live a life she would like. So I'm trying to take my life and make it a life she wants so that she will like me. That's like saying that we all have to be the same. I'm projecting this idea that I have to be the same as her for her to like me.
What if she didn't care?
Well, that's what I think. I'm super glad that you're seeing that. But if I believe we all have to be the same, if I truly believe we only like the people who are just like us, can you see how I would project that onto her? Mm-hmm. Well, she's going to want me to be just like her. So I'm going to take everything I am and put it in a closet, and I'm going to make sure I'm like just like her. So she'll like me.
And it's also like, oh, okay, now we have things in common.
Well, that's, basically you said the same thing I did. We have to be common. We have to be the same. Sameness, commonness. We have to, because that's what friendship is. But is that really friendship?
No.
It's fake. Plus, so the person that thinks like that is constantly changing who they are or shaming others for not being like them, right? There's two sides to that. Either I'm going to judge and shame everybody for not being like me because I'm superior, or I'm going to change me to accommodate to someone who's like that. I was on the side of I change for people who are superior.
Yeah, that's the side I'm on.
Yeah. And that's victim, that would be your like accommodating narcissism. So you end up having traits of narcissism because you're accommodating to their traits. You aren't necessarily a pathological narcissist where they truly believe their way is the best. And everybody should be just like their awesome best way. And therefore, you all are pieces of shit and I'm better than you. And they literally think just like that.
Yeah, that's definitely not me.
But you're the one that goes, okay, they're true. They're right. They're true. I should be just like them for them to like me and for me to be superior too.
Right, or you kind of like, oh, they're so great. Like, you want to be like that.
Yes. And so you believe that they must be happier somehow. They must be great people. I want you to imagine what it's like to be in that mindset of being superior to others and constantly putting others below you. Are they really happy? Don't forget, they always have to promote themselves as better and higher and more superior. So they have to constantly promote themselves above others and constantly compare themselves to others to make sure that they are in some way superior.
Well, sometimes people don't necessarily like. They may not feel superior, or they may not like make other people feel inferior. It could be all in my head. I'm putting them up on this pedestal. Like, they're not necessarily saying or doing anything to me.
Yeah, no, that's true. They do exist. People like that do exist. And you might be projecting that onto everybody. As that's the way everybody is. Because that's the only way to think and be. And so that could be where you're aware, well, I might be making everybody like that. Well, is that because you believe that we should all be superior people? So there's a belief in there that you could say is being projected onto everybody. Whether they're that way or not, you believe that's what they should be like,
Right. Or, it's like literally from the youngest age, like I never ever basically was happy with myself. I constantly compared myself to everyone around me, and I wanted whatever they had.
Yeah.
And so then I was lost. I basically, like you said, I left my body, and then I've never been happy with myself because I've always wanting something else,
So what you've probably done is, again, where this begins isn't with the body. It actually begins with you believing that you're inherently inferior as a human being. And so what you do then is you compensate. You try to find things to make it better. Superficially. And so you can see then, the grasp onto body image would be that's one way to try to control people's awareness that you suck. So you're trying to hide the feelings that you are a horrible person. You really believe you're a worthless piece of shit. And so that's at the core of this problem. An extreme sense of I am a worthless pile of crap. I am worthless. I can't handle life. I am inferior to reality. And so I have to create a reality that protects me from being exposed to make me a better person. So it's not just constant work to keep you from being exposed as a loser, but you're trying to change who you are to not be a loser. But it's not really changing the inside. You're changing the facades. Because what happens is we make assumptions, and because of how the media works and our environment works, your worth is what other people think of you. So other people have been given the power of defining if you're valuable or not. Okay?
Because I gave them that power.
Correct. So you are not a free agent.
No.
That means you're not living your life. You haven't even started yet. You were given a life to be here and to actually live it, and you haven't even started yet.
Yeah, it's so funny. I remember when I very first met my husband, he was like, "You've lived in San Diego, but you have never lived."
No, you haven't. You've never really actually. So when I say that, I want you to really open it up to the pureness of it. You've basically handed your free will, free agency to everybody around you. So you're not actually a free agent. You're either telling me that religion will tell me how to be. The parents will tell me how to be. These people will tell me how to be. Even people I don't know around me, they know more, and they will know that I don't know how to be, and everybody is judging who I am because I don't know what to do, because you don't have your free agency. You gave it away. You hit the nail on the head when you just said that. I gave it away. Yes, you did. Because you thought other people would know what's better for you than you.
Yeah, or what they have seems, I think, is better than what I have, or it's just in my head, but
that comes because you think that what you have sucks. Once again, it all starts from I suck. I am inadequate. I suck. Everything sucks within here. So therefore, I'm looking at what things look like. I'm looking at how they are, the way they talk, the music they listen to see if I can make what's inside better. Because the desire that you have is to make things better. It's not, you really do. You can look at that and go, well, that's honorable. I
always knew I was like a nice, kind person, smart.
Yeah, but that's not good enough for you.
Right.
So,
it wasn't. That wasn't.
You have to have the facade. The facade is what makes it good, not the inside, not the truth. That's too sucky. That sucks.
None of that really mattered because I still felt inadequate compared to everyone else around me.
They have more money. They have nicer clothes. They have better hair. Their bangs look better than mine. Look at their nails. I want their nails. Look at their earrings. Yeah, you're constantly putting your reality into a place of inadequacy, comparing the facade to other people.
And it's all superficial. Like, it was never like,
facade.
I want to be like that. Like, character traits necessarily.
Yeah. You're not looking at
about I want long blonde straight hair.
Because that's what's gonna make me a valuable person.
Yeah.
Long blonde straight hair.
Yeah.
Well, you're still living in that state of mind. That's can you tell it's conflicting with your wisdom? It's super conflicting. Because your current wisdom hears it and goes, well, that's super dumb. Who cares?
And that's why I've been in confusion my whole life.
Well, you're emotionally holding yourself to that juvenile position, but your intellectual wisdom is like, that's so dumb. That's so no. I wouldn't teach that to anybody. I wouldn't promote that. I wouldn't hold myself to that ever again. Knowing what I know now, it's just brought me total and complete internal emptiness. I'm empty. I have no soul because I'm so focused on, is my hair blonde and straight? You basically said the soul, I would rather have the facade. You signed signed a contract with the devil. You gave him the soul and said, please make me look better. I just want to look like I have my shit together, because then I'll be happy. Because I want other people to envy me like I envy them.
Yeah.
But you can see, if, as a child, they don't know any different. So this is very juvenile. It came from when you were juvenile, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go back, would you choose to think that way again?
No.
So that's not how you would choose to be today.
No. I mean, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
Right? Isn't that terrible? You'd never promote that way of thinking. You'd never support that type of promotion. Where, oh, let's worship people because of the way they look. You would be like, no, that's dumb.
Or because they're a cheerleader.
Oh, yeah. See, again, it's all the weird... You are
bad.
so describing the narcissism of the 80s.
Oh, I know. And
The 80s were so bad.
And I wouldn't even bother to try out because I was like, oh, well, I don't look like they do, you know? So
Because it's always about what you look like. Never mind the experience. Yeah, so you can hear how that is really just kind of taken away your life. You've never really lived the life you wanted. You came here to have a life, and you basically have withheld yourself from it.
Right.
Because you don't look a certain way. The looks of it. So wouldn't it be so great if you could just go blind?
Yes.
Right? Because then you would just be free to actually, your soul could re-inhabit your life, and you would be a free agent.
Yeah, I think if I grew up somewhere else, it would have helped a little.
See how you just decided it wasn't you that was the problem? It was where you were.
Well, I mean,
No, everybody thinks that. You know, I've had people in the Midwest tell me the same thing. People in Alaska tell me the same thing. People down in the... Oh, yeah, you basically think it's not you. You think it's where you're at. You always think it's the facade. It's always the location. No. Of course, this is cultural, but this is human. This is inherent human inadequacy that is basically being projected. Don't blame your environment.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just was like, because I'm just kind of comparing it to now, like when I live my life here versus like when I go to Oregon, it's different.
Well, it's different, but they use a different system to do the same thing because it's all about organic. It's all about free range. They have a totally different religion over there.
Yeah, like nobody, like, it, you know, if I'm going out and just slouchy clothes and have no makeup on, I'm like everyone else, you know. But here,
you'd have to. Do you think the people there that are in that state of mind really care what you're wearing, or are they more concerned with what they're wearing?
I mean, yeah, they probably, of course, they don't care. What
I know.
I'm
So
wearing.
it's in your head. It's in your head. You're just trying to accommodate to what is seen extrinsically as more valuable, right? So if you were to go to, let's just say, Mormon country, would you wear a bonnet if you're around a bunch of polygamists?
No, but I guess I would feel kind of out of place.
So did you wear a bonnet and wear it just so they'll like you? And those really long, drapey clothes with the big poofed up sleeves and then, you know.
I mean, I guess after a while, I suppose
do you want to? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
You would want to do that? You would actually want to do and...
No.
Oh, okay, so there's the truth.
To,
okay, that's the truth.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
So you would have to say, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So what's the risk of you saying, no thanks?
Yeah. No, I mean, they may not accept me.
Are you going to be okay if you don't have to accommodate that tiny little pole box?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, that's how it feels. That's how that feeling that you just had around, no, I don't care, I'm not going to do that. That's what it feels like when you... See, I use that as an example because it's really radical. It's a radical culture in a very specific locations of old school Utah and Nevada. And, you know, it's not predominant.
Or like the Amish people.
Same thing. Like, you got it.
Yeah,
you'd be no thanks, it's not good for me. You would have that boundary and you'd have discernment and the willingness to go, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. You're great people and all. I don't see anything wrong. You can do this. If it brings you joy, you should, but it's not for me. I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Right. So how come I can't do that, like, you know, here with less extreme?
Well, it feels the same way. I'm just using that as an example for you to go, oh, that's what it feels like. To separate yourself from what's the truth within you and doing something you don't want to do to please someone else.
Right.
Okay. The truth within me and the willingness for someone else to be uncomfortable because you're not willing to do what they want to do with their life. It's not your life. They don't own you. If you were living a life that they owned, you would need to do what they say.
Yeah.
But they don't own your life. You're the one. It's the one you're existing in. They didn't give it to you, nor did they create it for you. So they're not ownership of it. So again, you know, this you need to be able to see. Well, I'm the only one that's living my life. I own it. I'm the one that's actually experiencing it. You know, other people should make choices that bring their life and experience joy. They should. That's what they should do.
Those people as strong, confident people, you know, that are sure of themselves. You know, they know who they are. You know.
Well, they know there's boundaries. They have boundaries. They have the willingness to say, no, that's not for me. I don't want to do that, but you can do that if you would like, because you should make choices that feel right to your life. That's what free agency is. That's what freedom is and independence is. Right?
Yeah, and I think like it's not really it's the perfect example of last summer, and I felt great about myself because I was, you know, at a good weight, you know, but we were in Havasu last summer, you know, and my friend, you know, like I've always like thought she's better than me because of what she looks like and stuff, but so when we were gonna go out on a boat, you know, wearing like hats and like wind and water, you know, and she's like, we're all waiting for her because she's in the bathroom like putting her whole makeup on and blowing her hair, you know, like totally like getting ready like we were gonna go out to a nightclub.
Yeah.
To go on a freaking boat. And I was like, and I totally like disagreed with that. I was like, that's absurd. Like in my mind, I'm like, that is so freaking crazy. But then this other little part of me was like, well, I guess I should like put a little makeup, you know, do like a little something.
Okay, so let me give you a bridge in between those two. That is something I don't care to do. If she needs to do it, she should, but I'm not doing it. I don't have to do that. I love that she's doing what she needs to do, but Jesus, that sucks for her. But if it brings her, she should do that. So you got to know what's good for you. And I think that's where you're struggling, is you've never really actually asked yourself what's right for me. What's right for me? And should I have to do what other people do just because it's right for them?
Right.
You know, that's and that's something
she wasn't putting that on me.
No. That was no different than your OCD. She had her moment of controlling everything, controlling her face, controlling the makeup, controlling the facade, making it look a certain way. And maybe that's what she wants to do to feel good about herself. Should you have to do what she does to feel good about herself? Should you have to do what she does, even if you don't want to do it?
No.
Okay, because you can see, I don't feel the need for that. I'm not judging her. If she wants to do that, that's fine. See, this is where I think you're having issues, because you are losing a sense of boundaries between what other people do for themselves and the boundaries around what's right for you and what you should do for yourself. You're confusing those lines, right?
Oh, totally. And I live totally confused.
Yeah. So, but can you see why that would be underneath feelings that you are a completely piece of shit, useless pile of crap? Mm-hmm. Why you would confuse those boundaries? Because you don't think your thoughts are relevant. Mm-hmm. You do not feel that your sense of life has any value. It's why would you listen to yourself? I suck, so I have to listen to other people, even though inside I'm like, that's ridiculous. So you clearly have your own sense, but to you, it's inferior sense. So you don't listen to it. So you basically rape yourself with other people's things and ways of being. Mm-hmm. So you're doing it to yourself. They're enforcing an opinion, and you are allowing it to happen. You're not willing to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. That's why I use the word rape. Psychological rape. Psychological molestation. That's what that is.
Right, because she would have never said, like, oh, aren't you going to go, put some makeup on?
Yeah, you might want to put some makeup on. You really...
I just kind of, felt like, well, gosh, I should, you know, like,
like I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with me. You see how that works? Even though you've been clear, you had a very clear message. This is what the heck? Hell no. It was clear to you. And then you went into, but don't listen to me. I don't know anything because my life sucks and everybody else's is better.
Yes.
Not realizing that the reason why your life sucks is because you're not really living it anyways. You're living it for other people's approval.
Yes.
Thinking that the way they do it might bring you happiness. Never really looking at, well, how do they know what brings you happiness? It's kind of like, how would they know that you would be such an amazing person in an old folks home?
Yeah.
How does anybody else know that about you?
Right, they wouldn't.
No one. Not one other person has that sense or awareness. Only you. No human being, not even your mother, not even your father, not even a freaking dog, not even your husband, not even your children, have that awareness of what you're aware of. You're the only one that is in your own consciousness experiencing it. Your husband is the only one in his consciousness experiencing it. That woman putting on that makeup is the only one that's aware of why she's doing it and what it fulfills for her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you're getting confused. You absolutely have lost sense of the difference between your awareness and other people's awareness. And you're positioning yours as inferior and worthless, and it doesn't have any, so when you do that, can you see why you would be so continuously trying to control everything outside of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those are predictable things. Well, I can control people's judgment of me by having the cleanest house, the most organized house. I can actually put everything where it needs to be. I can control everybody's opinion by being as controlling as I can of everything around cleanliness, clothes, organization, and the way I look. Right? Long, blonde, straight hair, because that's what everybody likes. So if I do that, I can control people thinking that you're trying to blend in.
Yeah.
Blending in. That's superhuman survival mechanism.
Yeah.
Can you see why you'd want to blend in? Because then you won't get noticed.
Oh, right. Right. Like, it was so strange because I always, like, and I still, like, it's like I crave attention, but I don't want to be the center. Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. That part of you wants to be the center and to be seen as special, but at the same time, if you are special in the center, it puts you under a microscope and people will find out it's a lie. Right. It's all fake. You're doing things to fake it all. It's not even real, except for when you're actually in the element of what you do for a living, I bet. You are in your element. It's natural. It's not fake. You're not trying to get someone's attention. You're not trying to prove something. You're actually connecting with the person you're helping. And you're actually in that space of well-being.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, when I'm at work, I'm not faking anything.
No, it's true. It's real. It's authentic.
Yeah.
So that probably gives you a real sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it makes you feel good about yourself. You know, like.
Are you as controlling in that environment? Are you as super controlling? Super tense, or are you more relaxed in that environment, more laid back, more willing to adapt?
I mean, I'm more relaxed, but yet the organization part still comes in. Like if I open a drawer and it's a mess, I have to like fix it. Or like,
okay, that's different. I'm talking about how you were reacting in or relating with people, and you know where you're not so like second guessing yourself and constantly picking yourself apart, where you're more relaxed.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely don't do that as much.
Yeah, right? You're more lenient, more, you could say in that environment, you really are in your element, and you're more carefree, you're more relaxed, you probably are more gracious, and it's not as tense. There's no anxiety in that.
Right, I mean, there's still
very different.
Like maybe like, oh gosh, I wish I had her figure, you know, like.
Okay, body image stuff. Okay, get that out of there. Of course,
but-
that's huge for you. But if you get that out of there, would you say that really is a safe environment? You're in a very much more confident space in yourself in that environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
You don't need people to validate you. You're not constantly seeking praise or fear of, you're just doing what you love and it's natural.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think though that's why I've never really strayed from getting into other areas of nursing, because I've always wanted to be like really good at what I do, and if I start over, then I'm gonna be back at the bottom, you know.
Yeah. Okay, that's insecurity, but that's placement and hierarchies in the system. So that's different than actually what you do. The caring aspect, again, going back into the caring aspect, the essence of why you do what you're doing. It's not about placement and order. You could give a shit about placement and order when it comes to actually what you do.
Right.
And your ability as a nurse, your nursing practice is like unaffected by placement and order.
Right. That's why I have absolutely no desire to be a manager, because that would be absolutely miserable, even if it's higher up, higher pay.
Yeah, you don't care.
That's not
So these are good examples for you to use as what it would be like to be normal in all aspects, to be actually healthy. If I want to use that terminology, it's hard to have words to explain this, but that you could look at that and go, oh, that's what, if my whole life was like that, everything I did was like that, how would that be? Meaning you felt the way you feel about when you're in the essence of nursing is how you feel about when you're with your friends and friendships. Like, what if friendships came that natural to you? Connecting with people, that it was that natural.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like, it'd
be like winning the lottery.
I don't know if I've ever had that, or maybe.
Well, you have in that work environment. It just has never been in relating to people, because you've always been insecure and inadequate, and then your controllingness comes in, and anxiety, and again that white room. You leave, you exit. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I've always been like friends that I view are more like on my level. Then I like when I'm with, say, my friend Amy from work. Like, you know, she has a weight issue as well. She's even heavier than I am. I don't feel any bit insecure or anything when we're together. If
she lost weight, you probably would.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, because it has to do with how fat she is. Not her. It's not her that you're connecting to. It's her fatness. So it's really superficial, right? Well, she has to be fat for me to connect with her. Do you hear that? Fatter than me, at least. At least she has to be bigger than me, because if she ever even gets close, now I'm going to feel threatened by her. I'm going to feel inadequate. I'm going to feel like we don't connect anymore. Do you hear that?
Yes.
It's not even real.
I don't like that.
So where I want to go with you in that white room, and I have to go because I have someone else that's right now. Okay. But we'll finish with this. It's go into that white room, and I want you to get back to the essence of who you really are. Eliminate all the bullshit, all the armor, all the fakeness, right? All the pretendness, and sit in that space and allow people to come see who you really are. Allow people to enter the room and don't escape. And when you do that in your mind, where you don't say a word, you don't have to excuse anything, you're really just exposing the truth of the fragility of your truth and realness. How would that feel before inviting people in? Parents, family, friends, old classmates, random strangers, just massive people to come in and see who you really are.
I mean, it would feel good, but...
What part?
I guess not having to put on, not having to act or
you would
whatever,
be released from the fakeness, because if they could actually be witness to the truth of you, no matter what their reaction, no matter what their response, that vulnerability, the nerves of what they might think of you, all of that, once you experience that moment of truth, and you don't have any excuses or stories to say, well, this is fine, I'm going to fix this. Nope, you're just, here I am. Here's everything out in the open. What that does for you is it allows you to actually become a free agent That means you're living
Yeah.
your life. That means you're actually connecting with the life the body is providing you. You are now connecting with its consciousness, and you are now the one that's driving it. Because you no longer have to abandon it to please someone else. Because you are not what they want. You're not that.
Right.
You expose the truth. It's like coming out of the closet. Here it is.
Yeah.
So once you do that, it is freeing. It's like, oh, I don't have to perform. They all know I suck. Everybody knows I'm inferior now. Isn't that the best thing ever?
Yeah.
Because I can just be the truth of whatever that is. I can be authentic in the space of that. So that means that I can really, go into what I love. I don't have to do what others want or think I should do because they think that's the better thing for me to do. No, I don't have to go and be in this religious cult. I don't have to do that if I don't want to. Just because that's not who I am. I am. Here's me. I'm ugly. I'm not as smart. I don't have the right hair. I have the wrong height. I have more muscly. I have more masculine features. I mean, I'm describing me. Right?
That describes me too.
I have hairy arms, or used to. Now I'm older, they're not as hairy. I have moles. I have wrinkles on my face. I've got gray hair everywhere. I'm not wearing makeup at all. And I'm putting this on YouTube for over 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here I am. It's me. I'm cussing. I cuss.
Yeah.
I have a great sense of humor. I'm not perfect.
Then it would allow me to figure out who I am.
You got it. Because you can
Or
actually
what
focus.
I actually like.
Yes, you could focus in on the truth. You'd actually have the space to go, okay, this is what I needed to do when I was in kindergarten. Okay, so I'm going back to kindergarten. When I went through this, I felt like I was 4 years old. I had abandoned my reality at about 4 years old. And that's when I started to change who I was to please my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like peanut butter. So I stopped eating peanut butter.
Yeah, you told me that your
Right.
mom was like, you love peanut butter.
Nope, I don't like it. And you can totally connect with that because that was when I started to change myself for other people in hopes they'd like me. So and it wasn't about them. I was thinking that that's what I had to do for them to like me. And I understand. I had older siblings who were very critical, very opinionated, and it really conformed, my mind conformed to thinking that all people were that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I just changed who I was, hoping they'd like me. I mean, I was like that annoying kid who was like, please like me, please like me, please, 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 please. If you think things are funny, I'm going to do something really funny. And I was the most annoying kid on the planet.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah, full of anxiety.
Yeah.
Enough to where I had a teacher in second grade who was so annoyed by me, she pulled my hair. She literally I had a braid and she yanked it and told me to cut it out. I just thought I was such a horrible person. I literally did the same thing you're doing. And I do want you to know everybody listening to this has done the same thing. Everybody is doing the same thing. This is a symptom of the same problem. Mm-hmm. You are symptomatic. You don't have a disease. This is all symptom. All of your controllingness, all of your clutchingness, all of this really wanting to be thin is the one main thing that you do to try to hide your sense of I suck, I can't live, I'm such a shitty person. But when you come out of the closet as whatever it really is, all of a sudden you don't have to manage and control your body to such radical, extreme ways. Because you can just be like, well, whatever the body is, it is what it is. I don't want to focus on that. I got to get back into who I am, the essence of what this is, right? The kindness, the lovingness, the desire, this real appreciation of other people and wanting to connect and have compassion and help them. That's unique to you, dearie. I'm not in your field for a reason.
Yeah.
You have to think, is that really shitty? Is that really shitty? Those are gifts, right? Those are gifts.
Yeah.
Is it really not good enough?
No.
Right? So you have to really go down to the core and the foundation of what it is you are. if you can just be the truth of whatever it is, you don't even need to know what it is because it comes to you. It's within you. It actually is there. It's always been there. You don't have to create it, make a plan. It's there. It's there within you. If you can do that, what happens to all this other bullshit?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that's the direction our work needs to go.
All right.
So I want you, we're going to leave you in this session. I want you to spend time really imagining that white room. One of those doors is, I'm a nurse. Look at me. I'm good at this. At least, you've got all these escape routes so that people don't know who you really are. And you're stuck constantly you don't get to know what it is. You don't get to know who you are. You don't get to present who you are because you don't know what that is. And you're stuck having to become what you're not for other people, as if you're their slave. So the only way for you to regain your free will and your free agency as a soul and a life that exists is for you to actually honor what actually exists within you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And say, this is something that is real and true. And that's what I'm presenting. I'm not going to present anything fake again. The benefit of you just being able to be truthful about who you really are, whether people like it or not, is freedom. To actually enjoy your life. Freedom from all this OCD shit.
Yeah.
Or a release from the pressure backing it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're not going to want things clean or organized. It just means the pressure backing it. You might not be so agitated and irritable and such a bitch when it doesn't work out.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
Let's schedule to follow up.
Alrighty.